Good evening. Welcome to OHSAA Regional Quarterfinal Action. Thanks for having the hard-working crew of Waycross Community Media in your homes this evening. I'm Jacob Williams, and I'll bring the Northwest homie version of the facts to the folks from Pippin Road. And I want to thank the community here at Franklin High School, Arnie Hellam, the superintendent, and all the coaches and faculty. Now, this is when your team must be grounded in reality here in the playoffs. The regular season is in the rearview mirror for these teams, and now it's a matter of putting together a long drive to propel them to Thanksgiving and beyond. Speaking of mirrors, it reminds me of how Uncle Jake, in his driving lessons, used to always say the idea of mirror, mirror on the car, how long will I drive safe? How well can I get far? To that end, we got the Franklin Wildcats in here tonight, and they expect that Luke Kennard, sophomore, 6'5", 180 pounds, will shed light that should help the Wildcats from having the deer in the headlights look against the night defense. Kennard set the school record for this year for passing touchdowns, and he'll be throwing to senior wide receiver Connor Stiekelman, who set a school record for receiving yards this year. As far as how well the Wildcat offense can get far, they pedal to the metal with Chris Heimer, a 5'9", 180-pound senior, who hauled the rock for them this year for 1,500 yards. Now, over here with Northwest, they come in here this evening after losing 2 games past consecutive weeks. They lost to a Wildcat bunch from Harrison, and last week Mount Healthy Isles was able to put them away. But they come in here tonight knowing that those losses don't mean a thing if they can put it all together here tonight and bring their A game. So we're about to get it kicked off. Kyle Kostoff putting the tee and the ball up with his little green tee. Now the officials for tonight's game are going to be David Wilkin, the referee. The umpire will be Glenn Williams. The linesman will be Barry Oy. And the line judge will be Donnie Castro. And the back judge will be Jim Oberly. So here we have it. This action about to get jumped off. Northwest High School comes in here. They're 8-2 record. Franklin receives this kick, picks the ball up on the 15, straight north and south, crosses the 30-yard line, breaks the tackle, and he's going to be hauled down at the Wildcat 38-yard line. DeQuan Render, the Northwest defender, in on this stop.
On the stop for the Knights. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
See here,
39.
Receiver picking that ball up for the Wildcats, straight north and south. Nice blocking on special teams. And this is where Coach Murphy told me before the game that he wants his players to amp up in this special teams department. So here we go. The Wildcats out on offense, led by their quarterback, Luke Kennard, number 10. High backfield, he turns and gives to number 1, and he breaks through to the second level. He's got a block, and he's going to go all the way down to the Northwest 30-yard line before he's eventually hauled down.
Brought down here the Northwest 30-yard line.
This is where the home team, Wildcats.
31 yards on the
Here we
play,
see the
Wildcat
turn and give, and
touchdown.
nice block out there on the edge. I don't know, the Knights must have seen some of this on film. Here's the give inside, he breaks right. Northwest defenders on the stop. He's going to make it to the 26-yard line.
Down near the 26-yard
It'll be
line.
second down.
Portland Render in the
6
stop for the
yards to
Knights.
go.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. 2nd down and 6.
Of course, Northwest defenders, we got Lenerick Mathis, number 52 up there on D-line for him. Eager and anxious to give a good account of himself tonight. as a senior. Give again. Breaks right through a couple tackles.
Chris Heimer on the carry.
He runs right through that tackle of number 78.
Play and a Wildcat first down.
Amir Daniels.
Tackle made by Mathis.
Be another first down for the Wildcats. And this is where the Northwest Knights got to come in here and show these Wildcats that they don't break for animals. But here we go, Kennard under center, looks it over, takes a snap, gives again, and good yardage inside by number 1, Chris Heimer. Again, we know that he's to carry the ball for 1,500 yards for the Wildcat offense this year.
Second down and 8.
Heimer gets to play, goes back into the huddle. So he's got his center number 59, Blake Gebhardt, over the ball. Pass out to the left flat, complete to number 5, and he runs around the night defender and scores in the end zone. Touchdown, Franklin Wildcats. 10 minutes, 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and the Franklin Wildcats did the scoreboard on their first possession of the game. Night defenders looked like it was in total disarray. It looks like number 9 there trying to defend that, Dominic Williams. They just gave him too much room. You know, it's just too much room to get his guy, especially this close to the goal line. So here the Wildcats go for the extra point. The pull is down and the kick is up.
The extra point attempt is good.
And the kick is good. So we have
7, the Knights 0.
the Franklin Wildcats leading the Northwest Knights 7-0 here early in the first quarter. Of course, as we get ready now to line up for this kickoff, we keep in mind tonight is the opening night of OHSAA playoff action. Division II games will be held tonight, and Division I games will be tomorrow. Of course, we got games of interest all over. Mount Healthy Owls are playing Trotwood Madison Rams. Down at Mount Healthy, Windwoods Warriors are playing the Edgewood Cougars at the Frederick Field over there.
Kicking off for the Wildcats, number 9, Jamie Stacy.
So this is the time of year when teams got to figure out what they want to do. Sometimes practicing this time of year can get a little tedious on players if they're not focused. Had some less than ideal weather, remnants of the hurricane. Everyone's been suffering through hurricane season all year this year, it seems like. So the Cougars, the Wildcats kick it off. It's going to be picked up. Looks like, who's that? Phillips with the ball. He's brought down at about the 30-yard line of Northwest, where their offense has come out and put it in play.
Brought down near the Northwest 31-yard line. Initial hit made by King. First and 10, Northwest at their own 31.
Okay, so Corey Roberson back there. Got Phillips, Jason Phillips with him. Figures to see a lot of action. Corey Roberson back there in the pistol. Twins on both sides. He takes a snap. He's looking to his, gonna run left, and then he's gonna tuck it and run right. He's got a block. Gets about
Roberson,
5 yards.
Keeper, brought down near the 36-yard line. Stop made by Kirby and Woods.
Okay, so the Knights first play, little indecision there.
Second down and 4.
2nd and 4. Roberson, he's back there. Phillips, he probably had the ball to Phillips this time on a straight give, and there it is. And Phillips busted outside, but too many Wildcats are waiting for him there.
Jason Phillips on a carry for the Knights.
Looks like number 43, Jacob Wright, was in on that stop.
Forson Miller on the stop for Franklin. And Wright Gain of a yard on the play. Third down and 3.
So it looks like Northwest Knights are trying to run that same offense of no huddle that I saw them employ against Little Miami about 3 weeks ago. Wildcats don't jump. And inside again, no yards. Third down play, and that'll bring it to 4th down. Phillips can't muscle through.
39-yard line. Will force Wright and Richards on the stop for the Wildcats.
So the Wildcat defense forces a punt here. Looks like Corey Roberson is going to be doing this punt here for the Knights.
Roberson back to punt for the Knights. Rydell deep for the Wildcats.
Again, this is where Coach Murphy expressed a concern about his special teams play. And here we have a high kick that's going to hit, take a northwest bounce. Got a flag out there on the play.
Ball rolls to stop at the
got a
35-yard
number
line.
3
Penalty marker on the play.
Miles Baldwin on Northwest pleading his case as if he thinks it may be going against him. Officials confer. Amir Daniels trying to get within earshot of the conversation. So they're gonna wave the flag off.
Penalty is waved off. The Wildcats will begin 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Okay, so we see here on the replay where, yeah, okay, so no harm, no foul, or, okay, so here come the Wildcats on offense. Turn and give. Here's this guy, number 1 again, trying to twist out of the tackle.
Spins his way to the 39-yard line.
But number 23, Tyrese Ziegler, won't have any of it on that play. So it'll be 2nd down.
Gordon on the stop.
Looks like 2nd and 5.
Gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
Oh, these Wildcats getting big yardage on every running play. Luke Kennard back there in the pistol. Gives in, he gives inside, and
Heimer again on the carry.
Heimer muscles in there.
Down to the 42.
Looks like he's got about 3 yards on the carry.
Miller.
Positive yardage on the play.
3rd down and 2.
Of course, Northwest defense. A lot of seniors on their defense. Nolan Miller. Quan Render. There's a give again, but it looks like this time the Knight defenders are waiting for him. Bolstered by the Mini Hats. Nolan Miller was up in the thick of it.
Initial hit made by Miller. Loss of
Yes,
2
sir.
yards on the play. Brings up
Leneric
4th
Mathis
down and
backing
4.
him up.
In the punt for the Wildcats, number 44, Ben Kirby.
This will be punting situation for the Wildcats. So the Northwest Knights, they started their season opening up a can on a Wildcat team, and then Wildcat team a couple weeks ago beat them. So here they are in the rubber game against the Wildcats, and looks like he picks up this punt and breaks it loose for about 10 yards, and he's not down yet. Plenty of hustle and bustle on that play for Northwest Knights. Looks like he's going to have the ball at about the 42-yard line for him.
Ball be spotted near the Northwest 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Nice night for football, perfect weather, no wind. The flag is as straight as a needle down there in the end zone. So here comes Corey Roberson under center. Now he's going to step back in their pistol. Jason Phillips. Snap to him. He's looking to throw to his left. He's got it complete to Jameel Trimble. But he fumbles the ball. And the ball's picked up by the Wildcats.
Number 1, Trimble. Number on the play.
see the nice catch by Trimble, but I guess this guy put a helmet, put a hat right on that ball. This is
Franklin at their own 48.
number 13. Caleb Miller put the hat right on that ball, jars it loose, and here's where Wildcats back on offense. This is what you don't need now. I see we got Rasheed Jones, number 18, back in there this week for the Wildcats, for the Knights at linebacker. Now we know Rasheed Jones had to sit out a couple games. We see him with this knee brace, but hopefully he's at the level where he can play up to his top talent. Legal procedure on that. Wildcats are going to be going backwards here.
Ball start against the Wildcats. 5-yard penalty moves the ball back to the Franklin 43. First and 15.
So first and 15 for Franklin. Another whistle here.
Once again, prior to the snap, penalty marker on the play.
Legal procedure against the Wildcats.
Penalty against the Wildcats. Moves the ball back another 5 yards to the Wildcats.
So
38.
It'll be first and 20 now.
20.
Well, this is helpful if you're the Northwest defense. Now these guys can stand up and figure out which one of these Knights is going to do the job for them. Maybe they can get this ball back. So the pitch, and Northwest Knights defenders are in the backfield.
Drop their loss back near the 35.
Looks like number 5, Kashawn Horton.
On the stop for Northwest. Loss of 3 on the play.
So the Wildcats break the huddle on this second and 23. Luke Kennard throws the ball out to the left flat, but Northwest defenders waiting there with a big hit. Big stick over there to jar that ball loose.
Northwest. Third down, 23.
So that brings it to third and 23. Well, this is where you're the Wildcats. We got to figure out, I'm sure, on this play, how this guy set this receiving yardage record this year, because they're going to have to unload and hook up on this one if they can. Northwest defense. Oh, they're going to try to run for it. And unfortunately tries to leap the pile, but there's nothing there for him.
Brought down by Render.
Daquan Render, the Northwest defender, over there on the stop.
Kirby in the punt for Franklin.
This is the year where these guys are wanting to hurdle the pile. Hopefully it works out okay. So the kick is up. It's going to be handled by Daquan Render. No, that's not Daquan Render. That's number 9, Dominic Williams. Nice return for the Knights. Looks like they'll set up shop about the 48-yard line.
First and 10.
Makes the first guy miss and then turns it upfield. A couple of blocks for him. Nice tackle on special teams, though. Number 18, Ben Slayton for the Wildcats. Okay, we got Roberson. Was under center, but now he's back there to pistol. Phillips with him. Turn, give to Phillips, straight up the middle. Carrying people with him. Getting blocks, hats all over the place.
The ball carrier.
Whistle blows, and looks like Phillips will have about 7 yards.
Wagers and right on the initial hit for Franklin. Gain of 7 yards on the play. Second down and 3.
Northwest over the ball. Center Justin Berquist over the ball for the Knights. Corey Roberson gets back there in the pistol. He's got trips left. Kicks Hairston in motion. He keeps it himself after faking the give to Phillipson. Able to pick up first down yardage. Looks like that ball is going to be spotted on a 38-yard line of the Wildcats.
7 yards on the play. First down Northwest at the Wildcat 38.
Hairston back there. Kicks Tristan in motion. Tristan's got the ball, but he's not going to get anywhere. Flag, though, on the play. We'll have to see what that ends up being. Tristan Snow.
Northwest, brought down by Kirby and Richards. Penalty marker on the play.
It looks to me like that's going to be a holding call against Northwest.
Holding penalty against the Knights.
Franklin Wildcats defense that play pretty good, like they've seen it on film. The games I've seen Northwest play, if this guy Snow goes in motion, he's going to get the jet sweep more than likely.
Penalty move the ball back to the Northwest 49-yard line.
So the Knights will start on their own 49. Phillips back there with Roberson. Throw. Mar Hairston catches that ball.
Number 13, Hairston.
Looks like it's going to be marked at the 45-yard line of the Wildcats. Mar Hairston looking to get on track.
Gain of 7 yards on the play. Second down, 17.
Northwest has good balance. Plenty of guys that can do stuff with the ball. They're going to have to settle down on O-line and give these guys time to do what they need. And he rolls right. Corey Roberson just can't get anyone to throw to. Lands incomplete.
Wildcats brings up a third down, 17.
Okay, so 3rd and 17 now. I do know, and I can tell you this, that the Northwest Knight kicking game is pretty good. And they can play field position. You know, if they have to end up punting this ball, they can. That looks like it's going to be another penalty. Looks like Northwest Knights left a little early. I don't know if it's this crowd noise and they're not hearing the snap count. Just what it is. But you're going to know if you want to end up winning state, it's going to be a road trip. This is the last home game for anybody. The rest of it is all on the road.
22.
So 3rd 22. Corey Roberson back there with Phillips, trips right. He rolls right. He's looking deep. And he's going to let go and let fly, and he's got a man. But that ball is incomplete. Ball was thrown right there, a little bit short, but officials are talking about this.
Roberson's pass intended for Johnson, incomplete, penalty marker on the play.
Sort out what we got going on here. Illegal man downfield.
Offsetting penalties on the play.
So with the offset, we had to down over. Northwest.
3rd down and 22.
Ball on the 50-yard line, right square at midfield. Northwest going to have to come up with another plan here. Roberson back there with Phillips. Straight drop. Now he's looking to run. They're flushing him out. They're going to track him down if he doesn't get rid of this. And that ball is caught by Tristan Martin. And he's going to make it down. Looks like they may have to call the touchdown. It didn't look like he touched out of bounds anywhere on that. Tristan Snow making that catch and picking up all kind of yards after catch. Nice throw, he gets rid of it just in time. Turns. Okay. Yeah, he stepped out. So it's going to have to be up to the Wildcat the Northwest offense to push this across. Give the fake is to Phillips. Corey Roberson takes it out of Phillips' stomach and crosses the goal line. For a touchdown for the Northwest Knights. 2:10 left to go in the first quarter. Wildcats 7 and the Knights 6, pending the outcome of this extra point attempt.
Kostoff on to attempt the extra point.
Kyle Kostoff been handling the extra point field goal chores for the Knights and doing a pretty good job of it. Big toe for a howitzer, or a howitzer for a toe, and it's up and kick is good, so game is tied. It's 7 apiece. 2:10 again left to go in the first quarter, and the Knights are able to respond. Big play. Tristan Snow comes up with it for the Knights. Tristan Snow is a junior. He'll be back. Okay, so we see again, Roberson gets flushed, and he's able to maintain just enough clearance to unload this ball before he hits the ground. And Tristan Snow is able to pull it away from the Wildcat defender and just made a good play for the Knights on that. It's the kind of play you need this time of year if you want to continue deep in the playoffs. And that's one thing, both these teams are balanced. I know the Knights are balanced. Many people can do many things with the ball. And the way it looks is this Wildcat team has got good balance.
Wydell, Miller.
So Kyle Kostoff is about ready to step off into this kick. Again, Coach Chad Murphy had some concerns about special teams. And we'll see how it plays out. Ball's caught on 18, straight north and south, runs through a couple tackles. This is number 13. And he breaks through everything. And he's running all the way downfield. And I don't think anybody's going to touch him. No laundry on the field. And that's going to be a coast-to-coast kickoff return for Wildcats of Franklin. That's a C-no caliber return on that play. And all of a sudden, we got this weak link in the Knights on special teams. Coach Murphy called it at the beginning of the game. Right through that arm tackle. That's number 13 there, Caleb Miller, senior. He's not ready for his season to end this week, evidently. Luke Kennard gonna hold on this extra point attempt. The hold is down, the kick is up, and that kick is good. So 1:55 left to go in the first quarter. Franklin Wildcats 14, Northwest Knights 7. They answered that in what, 15 seconds basically. Okay, so here we go, and got that ball. Nice block thrown for him up there in the wedge, number 44. Got a nice escort from number 1, Chris Heimer. He's got the vision. He's going to outrun the kicker or get talked about by his teammates, so he did that, and I don't know. Only thing I can see the Knights are going to have to do is find a way to make it answer their own. That's why we're in the playoffs. Anybody in this round of the playoffs, anyone still left standing, is a worthy opponent. And this crowd here, Franklin Stadium, they're loving their team. 12 men, and they're keeping them in this game. So here we go, and the kick is up and off. It's going to be picked up, or Lamar Hairston keep the ball and run, Lamar. He's going around right in and cuts it inside, but he's going to be swarmed under by the Wildcat special team. Knights will put in play on their own 32-yard line.
King, Richards, and Creech on the stop for the Wildcats.
1:46 left to go in the
Northwest
first quarter.
ball, 1st and 10 from their own 32.
Corey Roberson talking to the center. Now he steps back there to pistol. Phillips. Snow in motion. A give is to Phillips inside.
Phillips, the ball carrier.
In motion was Brandon Thompson,
Watch out
excuse
by
me,
Woods
number
in the
7.
force. Ball spotted just across the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 7.
2nd and 7 for the Knights. Ball on the 35. Jet sweep, give to Daquan Renner. He breaks to a tackle and he cuts it upfield. Eludes another tackle. Now he's out to the right side and he's got blockers. And he's gone to the 10-yard line, crosses the 10, and he's into the end zone for a score for the Knights.
For a Knight touchdown.
It's a jet sweep again. The Northwest, whoever they jet sweep with, they usually always run it. And here he comes, a nice block from Jason Phillips.
Makes the score, the Wildcats 14, the Knights 13.
And then he runs out of arm tackle. 2 arm tackles he runs out of, and then he picks up blockers when he changes his angle here. And he's got a convoy down that right sideline by Corey Roberson. So the Knights, Kyle Kostoff will try this extra point. Hold us down, kick is up, and kick is good. 1:02 left to go in the first quarter. This game is tied 14 apiece, y'all. Yeah, Daquan Renner, nice give, nice block. Jason Phillips just steered this guy right out the picture. Another nice block in there by number 55. And this is what you want to see in the playoffs, this kind of action. Your future opponent sees this play, and they know they got studying to do. Yes, sir. Corey Roberson himself escorts him down for that touchdown. Yes, indeed. Okay, so the game is going back and forth. Again, we still have the Wildcat crowd, Franklin Crowder, into this game. So here we go. Kyle Kostoff about to step off into this one. This is where Northwest Special Teams needs to hold this thing down. Ball's picked up out to 18, and number 22 runs out of the tackle, and he runs looking for yardage, but there'll be none. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. Number 21, Corey McGinnis on the tackle.
Gordon and McGinnis on the stop for the Knights. 1st and 10, Franklin from their own 30.
Brandon Schoen, that sophomore linebacker on special teams, he's been all over the field. He stuck his head right in there. Okay, so this is the possession. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to stop someone here. If you're Northwest and you could put a stop here and get some field position. Give inside again. Number 1. Chris Heimer.
Run down near the 36.
6-yard carry.
Morton and Miller gain of 6 yards on the play. 2nd down and 4.
Northwest fly to the ball on defense, but they gotta quit giving up these big chunks of yardage on 1st down. Here we go, Luke Kennard under center, got a power eye backfield. He throws left flat, ball's complete to number 6, but he'll be brought down, but he's picking up a 1st down.
Brought down at the 41-yard line. Gain of 5 yards on a play and a Wildcat 1st down.
Daquan Renner. No, that wasn't Daquan Renner. That was number 9 for the Knights on that tackle. Tackle Dominic Williams.
From their own 41. And that will be the final play of the first quarter. With the score, the Wildcats 14.
So that's the end of the
Knights
first quarter
14.
here. Franklin Wildcats tied with the Northwest Knights 14-all. And we just want to remind you out there, anyone, we need volunteers who wants to spend some time, a couple hours on a Friday evening or during the week. Help us out at our office. The number is 825-2429. We need help, volunteers in the community, citizens. This way you can feel good about how you look in the mirror, knowing that you're helping these kids achieve their future dreams and goals. Doesn't take money, just takes time. And, you know, these students work hard. We know we got a issue on the ballot where Northwest Knights may not have a football team next year, depending on what happens with this election. And, you know, to that commentary, I just don't know what to tell you. But I can't believe in this day and age we would let these kids go without. So, once more, volunteers are needed. Waycross Community Media, 825-2429. Okay, so Franklin Wildcats over the ball. They're on the 41-yard line, their own 41. Knights got the line stacked. Give is to number 1, and he runs into would-be tacklers and runs back over here where he's hauled down by number 33, Maurice Chapman.
Loss of 3 yards on the play. Second down and 13.
Second and 13 now for the Wildcats. Again, this is the rubber game for the Knights playing Wildcats. They split with the first 2 sets of Wildcats, and now they're aiming to beat this set of Wildcats tonight if they want to move on in the playoffs. There's the snap. Pass over the middle, over everyone's head, incomplete.
Bernard's pass intended for Crow, incomplete. Important on the coverage for Northwest. Third down and 13.
Third and 13, Knight defenders seeming like they've got the grip on this thing for now. But I don't think you want to just let this guy stand back there because he's too tall. You can see the field well. And they better keep this guy's ear to the ground because if you let him stand back there, he's going to hurt you. He's able to squirm, but he throws that ball complete to number 86 out there, Evan Crow, sophomore tight end.
Bernard's pass complete to Evan Crow. Picks up 14 yards on the play and a Wildcat first down.
First down for the Wildcats.
Coverage for Northwest.
So this guy's able to keep the play alive. Looks like give again to Heimer and picks up a couple of yards to the 45. Second and 7 for the Wildcats. Under center again is Kennard. He's back, throws to the right flat. That ball's complete. And this guy looks like he's got a first down over here. Brandon Lamb.
The Northwest 38-yard line. Baldwin on the coverage. Again, is 7 yards and another Wildcat first down.
So we got the Wildcats methodically moving the ball down the field. It's like this chain gang starting to earn their keep now. They're really getting up and down. 10:30 left to go in the first half. Kennard under center. Goes out to the left flat, complete to number 22, and he's straight arming and trying to muscle through there, but enough hats get over there for Northwest to keep it from being any more than about a 6-yard gain.
Northwest 28-yard line. Ziegler on the coverage for Northwest.
Yeah, Ziegler.
Gain of 9 yards on the play. Second down and 1.
Just would know that's a 9-yard gain, so 2nd and 1 now. Give
Luke
inside.
Quarterback keeper. Brought down at the 20-40-yard line.
Kennard keeps that ball.
That's a 5-yard gain and a Wildcat first down.
5-yard pickup. Another first down for the Wildcats. Ball's going to be on the Knight 24-yard line. 9:41 left to go in the first half. Power eye backfield. It's got number 31, Alex Norrie, back there. Gibbs, no one's touching this guy. He hurls him, man. Hurls two guys into the end zone. Touchdown.
24 yards in the end zone for a Wildcat touchdown.
Chris Heimer takes that ball. Got this guy leading him through.
Touchdown makes the score. The Wildcats
He leaps around that
lead.
would-be tackle and kind of leaps around that one and
Jamie Stacy
on
the
into
extra
Pater.
point.
So that makes the score. The Wildcats 20, the Knights 14. Extra point is about to be put up here. Hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good.
Attempt is good.
Franklin 21, Northwest Knights 14.
There's an official timeout on the field with the score. The Wildcats 21, the Knights 14.
Okay, so we got a barn burner here tonight. This is what playoff football is about. I mean, it's about winning, but hopefully you can match up and dent the scoreboard and light up the scoreboard as necessary. Right out of this guy, I'm telling you, this is tough sledding for the Knights. This team is very well balanced, got a lot of answers on defense that you have to have. Yes, they did stop the run for a little bit, and then they opened them up with the pass. Then after they opened up the pass, then they're handing the ball off again, pedal to the metal with Chris Heimer. Whoever wins this game tonight is going to be well tuned up for their next adventure. So here we go. Wildcats and Franklin about to step off into this one. This ball is
Stacy on the kickoff.
Daquan Renner has got this ball. He runs straight north and south, and looks like he's
Returned by
going to
number 2, Render.
run into one of his own players and get it to about the 43-yard line, 42-yard line of the
Ball
Knights.
spotted at the Northwest 42. First and 10 Knights.
Knights come out here on offense. $9:15 left to go in the first half. Knights need to possess this ball, run some clock. The way it looks now to me, it's a matter of keeping these other guys' offense off the field if you can. Corey Roberson kicks the man in motion, turns and gives to Phillips. Phillips straight ahead, bust in there. He
Phillips, the ball
takes
carrier.
about, what, 4 yards.
Brought down at the Northwest 46. 4 yards on a play. Second down and 6. Middleton and Woods on the stop for Franklin.
So he's got twins left and right, and he's got Phillips back there with them. You know, at some point, you're going to have to just keep giving the ball to somebody. Fakes to give to Phillips. He runs it in there himself, but Wildcat defense is there waiting. Looks like he's been stuck in there by number 8 on the Wildcat defense, Matt Middleton.
No gain on the play. The ball remains spotted at the 46-yard line.
3rd and 6. Roberson looks over to Coach Murphy. Twins right and left. Got Phillips back there with him. He's looking to his left. He throws deep, and that ball is just at the fingertips of number one, Jameel Trimble.
Incomplete. Richards on the coverage for the Wildcats. Incomplete pass brings up 4th down and 6.
And we see that ball just a little bit too long. I don't know if the Knights really set that up with anything. As the way it looks with this team here, these Wildcats, you're going to have
Roberson
to fool them a little bit.
For Northwest. Wydell deep for the Wildcats.
Okay, so here's Roberson back. That's where the Knights, again, need good play on special teams. He's got the kick up, and this kick is going to be straight up in the air. It's going to touch on the 35-yard line.
Roberson's
be down on the 35.
35-yard line.
I don't think that's what the Knights were looking for that punt, but on defense, they'll just have to come out here and see what they can come up with. 7:41 left to go in the half. So here come the Wildcat offense. Turns, gives second man through. He's taking tacklers with him. Chris Heimer
drives his way out near the 42-yard line.
Looks like a pickup of 7.
Mathis on the initial hit for Northwest. 7 yards on the play, 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, this game tonight, I just haven't seen a team this year pick up first down yardage on the night defense at a consistent rate like these Wildcats are doing. Knight's got to wake up. Give again. He leaps the pile, breaks a tackle. Here comes Heimer again. He's knocked out of bounds by the Knight defense.
30-yard line. Forced out of bounds by Merchant. 26 yards on the play and a Wildcat first down.
Okay.
Ball spotted at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
So that ball's another first down carry. Knight defense is going to have to find out what to do about this Heimer. And you got to at least break him of that bad habit of where he likes to jump over piles. They got to teach him what happens when you do that. They got a man in motion here. There's Heimer with the ball again, and this time he's running with speed. Breaks to the outside where gets down to about the 17-yard line. It's like Knight defenders.
On the stop, that's 13 yards and a Wildcat first down.
First down again for the Wildcats. Here he comes. Wildcats break the huddle over the ball. Knight defense. Got plenty of guys in the box. Turns, gives Heimer.
Heimer on the carry.
Brought down. Looks like number 33 on
Chapman
that tackle.
Northwest.
Maurice Chapman.
2 yards on the play, 2nd down and 8.
Well, we got a score from Tony in the truck tells us that over there at Winton Woods, Frederick Field, Winton Woods Warriors are leading in their game 21-0. Here he's looking to throw the ball to fade the corner end zone, but there's going to be a flag on the play.
Large pass into the end zone, intercepted by number 9 Williams, penalty marker on the play.
That ball was intercepted by Williams, but we'll have to see what the outcome of this flag is. And it's going to be on the Franklin Wildcats, so that interception will stand.
Northwest will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Here we see again, he tried to throw it up there, but Williams played good defense, and, you know, he out-jumps into the ball. So here comes the Knights on offense, 5:38 left to go in the half. This is where Ramar Hairston's got to figure out something. We got a lot of moving around and movement on this line. He kicks Christian Snow into motion. Flag on the play. Just too much about that didn't look right.
A myriad of penalty flags on the play.
Legal procedure.
Penalty against Northwest.
2-minute motion.
5-yard penalty
Backfield
brings
in
up
motion.
First and 15.
Okay, so the Knights break the huddle. First down, 15. Throws out to the left flat. Ball's caught, but Wildcat defenders are all over it. There'll be no gain on the play, or very little.
Roberson's pass complete to number 13, Hairston. Middleton on the stop for Franklin.
And Lamar Hairston needs to be more decisive with that ball. There was times I've seen Lamar Hairston shake a tail feather out there getting up and down the street, but now he's a little bit indecisive. Here we go. Roberson throws and completes to Tristan Snow, and he breaks a tackle and moves it forward for about a tough yard.
Brought down near the 18-yard line.
So this is where somebody is going to have to step up on this third down and 12 play for the Knight offense. Got the trips left. Phillips back there with them. Roberson looks to throw this, but he's thrown it to the midfield emblem of the Wildcat there, and that's incomplete.
Brings up 4th down and 12.
4th and 12, 4:20 left to go in the half. This is another special team situation where you have to execute a successful punt if you're Northwest.
Roberson back to punt for Northwest. Right out deep for the Wildcats.
Of course, Corey Roberson handling the punting and high snap, but he pulls it in and gets this kickoff, touches and takes a Northwest roll, and it's going to cross midfield on down to the 43-yard line of the Wildcats. So this is where the Wildcats will start their offense. This could be key possession of the game, folks.
1st and 10 Wildcats on their own 43-yard line.
If you're a Northwest defense, I mean, I know they stood tall and got that interception in the last possession, but they need another stand tall performance out of the Northwest defense. One of these nights is going to have to step up. Luke Kennard back in the shotgun. He gives on the jet sweep, but this guy be brought down by Rasheed Jones, number 18. Number 22, Jake Rydell, not able to pick up yardage here on a jet sweep. 3:45 left to go in the half.
2nd down and 17.
This is where Rasheed Jones must have heard me suggestion that somebody step up, and he did. Now it's 2nd and 17. Man in motion. Turns and gives to number 1 Heimer, and he's around right in, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds on the far sideline, maybe picking up.
Out of bounds near the Northwest 46-yard line.
about 8
Gain
yards.
of 10 yards on the play.
10-yard pickup. That'll still make it third
Ziegler and
and
Render on
7.
the stop for Northwest. Third down and 7.
Wildcats break the huddle, over the ball. Luke Kennard, under centers, power eye, timeout called by
Prior to the
Franklin.
snap, the Wildcats call timeout. Timeout on the field.
So they got timeout. They know that they want to make a good, substantial play on this. Either way, they don't, who knows? They might consider this 4-down territory. You never know. But this is the first I've seen the Franklin Wildcats in action, and I'm seeing a good team. They look like they're balanced, plenty of weapons, you know, good mix of underclassmen. They got, 15 seniors on the team. They got sophomores that are contributing. So they should be around in this playoff picture next year, because a lot of these guys, again, the quarterback is a sophomore, school record, and touchdown passes. And it's just a matter of how bad these guys want it. They got to know that they got to bring their A game. So here they come. 3rd and 7. Fork in the road, or stick a fork in a moment early in the first half of this game, and he fakes it. He almost throws that ball right in the hands of a Northwest defender.
Kennard shovel pass incomplete.
On that shovel pass attempt. This is where I haven't seen this type of play.
Down and 7.
But that looks like a play they might want to forget about, because they don't look like they're too adept at it. And they almost gave the Knights a big gift on that one.
Ben Kirby in the punt for Franklin.
So they'll live to punt this ball.
Williams deep for Northwest.
Whistle on the play before the kick is off.
Snap, penalty marker on the play.
That's
Ball
going to
starting
go
against
against
the
the Wildcats. So they'll move them back some more.
5-yard
3:11.
penalty moves the ball back to the 41-yard line.
3:11 left to go in the first half. This is where Northwest is wanting to see what they can come up with to use the rest of this time off the clock in the first half. First things first, though, they might be able to block this punt. They're going to play for the return. And it's down, and it's picked up. Williams has it across the 35-yard line.
Williams on the return for Northwest.
He jumps in there, and that's where Northwest offense will put it in play.
Franklin.
You know, to Williams' credit, he just goes straight north and south in there.
Ball spotted at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10.
Okay, so here we go. Corey Roberson. Justin Berkowitz, the center, over the ball. Pistol formation for Roberson. Got twins left and right. He's looking to his right. He throws over here to Daquan Render in the right flat. He brings a couple tackles.
Complete to number 2, Render.
Render playing some both ways tonight, and he's making decent yardage.
Out of bounds near the Northwest 48-yard line.
So that looks like it'll be a first down for Northwest Knights.
Completion picks up a first down. 1st and 10 for the Knights at their own 48.
2:53 left to go in the half. This is where Roberson got trips left. I don't know what they're going to come up with, but I think they're going to try to throw it long. Another whistle blown, a flag down.
Penalty marker on the play. Procedure penalty against Northwest, moves the ball back.
Well, I'm hearing two things as sound effects here tonight.
Ball
A
now
lot.
spotted at the Knights 43.
The old Michigan
First
fight
and
song,
15.
which we know Northwest has adopted as theirs. And the Bengals Jungle Growl, which I guess Franklin has adopted as their Wildcat growl. Okay, so there's Roberson gives to Phillips,
Phillips, the ball
and
carrier,
he's tackled in there. Good stop by number 43,
brought down by
Jacob Wright.
2 yards on the play. Second down, 13.
Second and 13, 2:25 left to go in the half. Corey Roberson back there in the pistol. Phillips with him. He's looking to throw to his left. Now he brings it down and he's throwing to his right. And that ball is caught by Daquan Rinder. Down at about 33-yard line if this Wildcat number 4 will let him get up. On the tackle for the Wildcats is Alex Rutledge.
Picks up a Northwest first down.
First and 10 for the Knights.
34.
2:10 left to go. Trips left. We'll see what they come up with on the play here. They got him spread out. He's looking left and he throws complete. That ball's caught by Jamil Trimble.
Complete to number 1, Trimble.
Like he muscles in there for about a 7-yard gain.
Brought down near the 28-yard line.
Timeout called by Northwest.
Miller and LaForce on the stop for Franklin. Northwest calls timeout. Timeout on the field.
Well, these teams are certainly giving each other a good account of themselves. Again, beautiful weather for football. Whoever one of these teams continues on in the playoffs next week and beyond may not be so lucky with the weather situation. From what I understand, we got another nor'easter heading up the coast, and who knows how that may impact things by this coming Friday. But either way, these teams got to be ready to play. You know, rain or shine, cold or lukewarm, they got to play if they want the trophy. Okay, so here's Northwest. 2nd and 4. This is where you might want to go ahead and get the ball to Phillips. You got time to let him carry, but we'll have to see. He kicks Rinder in motion. Rinder's got the ball in the jet sweep. He's got a block, but he can't get to the level. Got a flag now in there. We'll have to get this sorted out.
Penalty marker on the play.
Where that flag landed is more than likely going against the Knights.
Holding penalty called against the Knights.
Holding on the Knights. Of course, now one thing I do know is as far as kicking-wise, again, the Knights kicking game with Kyle Kostoff is one that has long field goal potential.
Wildcat 38.
So if the Knight offense could find a way to move this ball, they at least have a good chance at a field goal before the half. So there's Roberson. He fakes, he pumps it, he looks left. Now he wants to tuck it in and run right. And he's got a block, but there's going to be a flag again.
Roberson on the quarterback.
And that's going to be a hold.
Brought down near the 32-yard line. Penalty marker on the play.
Holding again on Northwest.
LaForce on the initial hit for Franklin. Holding penalty called against the Knights.
Northwest Knights are been matriculating backwards now here.
Timeout on the field.
Got a timeout on the field. Looks like when the Knights put it back in play, it's going to be on the Wildcat 49-yard line.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 49-yard line and brings up 2nd down and 25.
Both teams getting visits from their hydration staffs. I'm sure that with this weather, I don't know what the game time temperature was. Could be in the upper 30s by now. but there's no wind, no rain, so no excuses. We got ourselves a game, folks, and all the other locations around the area, I'm sure they're having games. I'm curious as to how Trotwood, Madison, and Mount Healthy are doing. Okay, so second and 25 for the Knights here. And I don't know what they got in the playbook for this. I'd say get it 12 and a half at a time here on this. Roberson's he pumps and he throws it, and that ball's broken up by the Knight defender, number 4, Alex Rutledge. Nice bust up on that pass.
Incomplete pass brings up third down and 25.
Third and 25. Rutledge knew where that ball was going to be going all the way. He followed out of Roberson's hand into where he had to make the swat. So here's Roberson again. Back, he's got a block, but now got a man wide open in the middle of the field. That looks like number 9, Mr. Williams.
Pass complete to number 9, Williams.
Dominic Williams, no relation.
26-yard line, tackled by Miller and Creech.
So now we got a 4th and short, 4th and 2. And this isn't, this 4-down territory for the Knights here.
Northwest calls timeout.
Yeah, this is going to be the fork in the road, stick a fork in them play in the first half here. One of these Knights is going to have to make it for them. Knights, no timeouts remaining, we're told.
Timeout, 4th down and 2.
Franklin still has 2 timeouts. They're going to leave theirs on the field, though. 4th and 2. Northwest has been in a lot of 4th down conversions this year.
Franklin calls timeout.
Well, Franklin calls timeout.
Timeout.
Yeah, this is a little bit outside of Kyle Kostoff's field goal range. And they're doing the right thing by going forward here on 4th down. Like I said, I've seen Northwest Knights convert quite a few 4th down in short situations this year. We'll see what the play call is going to be on this. Coach Murphy hopefully wants to go in this locker room at halftime. This game all tied up if he can. 56 seconds left to go here. Here we go, we're waiting on the snap. There's Roberson back there. Oh, we got a man in motion. Illegal procedure. Corey Roberson, Hairston. Lamar Hairston on that, number 13 jump.
Procedure penalty moves the ball back 5 yards and brings up 4th down and 7.
So we got a 4th and 7 now. The Knights are still gonna try to convert this. Twins left and right. Wildcat defense is playing this one pretty vanilla. It looks like they're not going to rush it, just going to try to cover folks. Here's the throw. The ball's caught. Northwest down to about the 10-yard line on that throw. Jameel Trimble, number 1.
Complete to number 1, Trimble for Northwest first down.
51 seconds left to go. The clock stops for the change to move. Northwest out of timeouts. Spikes the ball.
Roberson spikes the ball to kill the clock.
47 seconds left to go in the half.
2nd and 10 for the Wildcat 12.
2nd and 10. This is where, you know, you want to have yourselves a couple plays called. I know that Jason Phillips is getting the ball on one of these plays. But it's not that one. Oh, Corey Roberson, he's able to throw that ball complete to Jamil Trimble.
Roberson's pass complete to number 1, Trimble.
And that's going to be a touchdown for the Northwest Knights, and no penalty flags on the field. He fakes to Jason Phillips, and Jason Phillips runs up there and throws him a decent block. Corey Roberson,
The Wildcats 21.
able to not beat himself.
20. Kostoff on to attempt the extra point.
Nice play on that for Roberson. That's the play why Coach Chad Murphy has him in there, because he's not going to beat himself. And by standing up and keeping his balance, he's able to keep that play alive. Now this hole is down and the kick is up. It's kind of squibbled, but it's
Extra
good.
point attempt is good.
This
Tying the
game is
score at
tied with
21.
39 seconds left to go in the half. 21 for Franklin Wildcats and 21 for the Northwest Knights. So again, with 39 seconds left to go, of course, chances are they're not going to kick this ball all the way deep. They can't. I don't think they want to take a chance on a run back. And so we'll have to see what the Northwest special teams can come up with here. So here we see again, nice decision to run out there. Beautiful way of keeping his balance. That might be the best play that Corey Roberson's made all year as far as impact-wise. That's the play that Tony Romo never makes. So it looks like Northwest special teams about to step off into this one. Kyle Kostoff has it sitting down on his little green tee, and it's up and off, and he kicks it to the same guy to run it back for a touchdown. Why'd they do that? Nice tackle, though. Nice way to hold on. Number 23, Tyrese Ziegler, saved the game for the Knights on that.
First and 10, Franklin from the Northwest.
Caleb Miller, number 13. I'm telling you, I would have never kicked to this guy again. They almost paid. 29 seconds left to go in the half. And this guy has a big arm. He might take a couple Hail Marys. I know I would. So he's got trips right. Straight back. Northwest defense in there on him. He's got this ball complete with blocks and no one to make the tackle there. All the way down to the 6-yard line with 18 seconds left to go in the half.
38 yards on the play and a Wildcat first down.
Wildcats over the ball. Trips right. Spikes the ball down. 15 seconds left.
Second and goal for the Northwest 7.
So he comes over the sideline here. Luke Kennard, sophomore, 6'5", 180. Sorting out what play they're going to run. Got this number 5, Connor Stinkelman with him back there. Trips right. And, you know, Northwest defenders looking for the fade probably here. That ball is knocked away. Ball was right on the hands. You got a flag in the backfield of the Wildcats.
Incomplete. Penalty marker on
I don't think it's roughing the quarterback.
Williams on the coverage.
It is roughing the quarterback. Well, we'll have to see this again. Nice defense, though, on the Knights to knock that one away. It was right in his hand. And one of those...
After distance to the goal penalty, spots the ball at the 4-yard line, first and goal, Franklin from the Northwest 4.
11 seconds left to go here. Power eye backfield now. This is where Chris Heimer's back there, and number 31, Alex Norrie, and there's Chris Heimer just threw off.
40 yards into the end zone and a Wildcat touchdown.
There we go. So 7 seconds left to go in the half. The night defense not able to hold the Wildcats out of the end zone there. And this guy, Chris Heimer, number 1, he just wants it bad. And, you know, with his lead blocker going through the hole in front of him, it's just
Jamie Stacy on to attempt the
too
extra
much
point.
leverage. So Franklin Wildcats to attempt the extra point. Hole is down, and there's a whistle.
Prior to the snap, penalty marker on the play.
Against Northwest. Offside. I don't know what the halftime stats are going to be, but the halftime stats will probably make a lot of games a full four-quarter game. So another flag.
Prior to the snap,
Legal
penalty mark on the
procedure
play.
against the Wildcats on this one. Hey, you know, if you're Northwest, if you could find a way for this extra point to not make it through them goalposts, that could be very helpful for later on. Still wondering
Moves the ball back to the 8-yard line.
why they would have kicked that
Extra
ball
point
off
attempt will come from the
to
15,
Caleb
making
Miller.
a 25-yard attempt.
That big return. So here they are again, the Wildcats, another flag, and it's taken us quite a bit of time for this extra point attempt.
Against Northwest. Moves the ball back 5 yards the other way.
So this is a 1 step forward, 2 steps back, extra point attempt here. Of course, we know the way this game is transpiring that this is an extra, an important kick. You know.
Extra point attempt will come from the 11-yard line.
So here we'll try it again. This hole is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good.
And the extra point attempt is good.
So with 7 seconds left to go in the half.
Score, the Wildcats 28, the Knights 21.
Franklin Wildcats 28, your Northwest Knights 21. Although they will be receiving a kick here, but my guess is Franklin will probably just kind of squib this kick or have it some kind of way so that, you know, it ends up being the last play of the half, because you don't want any time on this clock for any kind of Hail Mary attempt. Because who knows, frankly, how it could go in a game like this. I see Daquan Render going back there, received this kick for the Knights, along with Jason Phillips, but I don't think the ball's going to get down there to him. So the Franklin disc jockey here at the stadium playing the crowd music, keep them revved up and amped up. So here we go, Franklin Wildcats stepping off
Jamie
into it.
Stacy kicking off for the Wildcats.
Jason Phillips with that ball. That's not Jason Phillips, that's just like they wanted to throw. That's the end of the half. So at the end of the first half, from Franklin High School. The score is Franklin Wildcats 28, your Northwest Knights 21, and we'll be back with more the second half after this.
Do you like what you see? Do you want to see more programs like this? Well, check out waycross.tv for this program and others like these.
Steroids can really damage your body. They can cause tendons to tear and bones to stop growing, damage kidneys, destroy the liver, even cause heart attacks and strokes. Not to mention something else they can do to a guy's body. Find out more about the dangers of using steroids. Visit drugfree.org.
marching nights are directed by band directors Sarah Lloyd and Tim Haney. Additional staff include...
I began producing and volunteering for Waycross when I was in the 7th grade. Since then, I have produced many programs that have won awards on the local, regional, and even national level.
Waycross Media was the ideal place for me. I just got involved in, as I say, as a hobby and continued on from there.
Anyone with a message that they want to share should come to Waycross, take the classes, and produce their own television show.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association is about sports, that's obvious. But it's more than just a competition. What we're really about is learning. Young men and young women stretching themselves in pursuit of the ideals that will guide them for a lifetime. It is an important mission, and we share it with schools, families, and communities. As Commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, I look forward to working with you to help our young people build their futures.
Our first number features senior guard member Erin Golden, performing her own original routine, accompanied by Allie Elam and Kirsten Jones. Here is the Rolling Stones' 1966 hit, Painted Black, conducted by George Cole. The band's next tune has been a favorite in the stands for years. It's time for the band and the guard to let loose and feel the groove to Land of 1,000 Dances, conducted by senior Cassandra Wilhelm. Our final number has been resurrected from the 2009 swing show by this year's seniors. We hope you enjoy the many faces and styles of this Latin classic. Here's Malaguena, conducted by senior Tyler Atkins. Let's hear it one more time for your 2012 Franklin Marching Wildcats.
That's what Benny says.
How come you never get me coffee?
He did not.
Why'd you want to say something? You hate us all. So I said, and you're too neurotic. You don't need coffee.
Barbara, what was that all about?
What do you mean?
The thing with your bag and the kid.
Oh, it's just a natural reaction.
Not to me, it isn't.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Very impressive, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thought he was pretty good.
I think we've got enough color around here. 2 points. And who's next?
You dropped this?
Imagine the power of one voice. Find yours at freedomcenter.org.
Welcome to the second half of this wild one between the Franklin Wildcats and the Northwest Knights. This game's got the makings of a classic. Now in the second half, the Knights are going to need to clean up the penalties. You see here in the halftime stats where the Knights suffered 11 penalties for 65 yards, whereas the Wildcats had 4 penalties for 15 yards. Other stats from the first half we see were Franklin, this Mr. Heimer, number 1, 144 yards rushing. And then the quarterback, number 10, Luke Kennard, he's in there with 6 of 11 for 96 yards passing. So it looks like total offense for Franklin is 238 yards. Over here at Northwest Knights, they had 97 yards rushing. Phillips had 18. Lamar Hairston had, Corey Roberson had 14. They had 8 of 17 in passing. But the biggest thing that really didn't kill them, but give Northwest Knights a hard time in this affair is the penalties, and then the special teams. And again, though, Coach Murphy, when he was telling me before the game, he even said that that was his big concern was the special teams. So we're about to get the second half underway here, Franklin High School. Now another score that I got update over halftime, we see where Windward's Warriors are pounding it on these guys they're playing tonight, 50-0. And a little bit further down the road, Trotwood Madison Ram, defending state champs, are handing Mount Healthy their head 28-0. So here we are with the second half kickoff. Northwest has it. Looks like he's running out of the tackle, but he's running. Looks like he's going to be brought down. Special teams again, throwing in the side. That was number 25 out there, Devon Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson, but this guy was supposed to run north and south. Okay, so we see he breaks a couple tackles though, but there's just too many Wildcats out there to cut the angle off on him. So here's Northwest, first possession, second half. Ball on the 15-yard line. And Roberson throwing to his left. Ball's caught in bounds over there. It looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 6 yards. Jameel Trimble out there. Northwest looks like they're going to go no huddle. Trips left and right. So Corey Roberson, they give that time inside to Phillips. Muscles in there for first down yardage for the Knights. Of course, a game like this is first possession of the second half. Going to mean something. Got Lamar Hairston in motion to give inside. Phillips over the left tackle for decent yardage again. Looks like about a 5-yard gain. So 2nd and 6 now for the Knights on this. Trips right. Roberson makes the pitch. The catch is made by Jameel Trimble over there, picking up a first down, knocked out of bounds at the Northwest 45-yard line. So we'll see what Coach Murphy and his staff was able to come up with as far as adjustments for the Knights at halftime. Looks like Corey Roberson, that's right, get your little towel. He fakes to give to Phillips. He runs around left side, breaks a tackle, and then is able to nudge for head for about a 5-yard pickup. So you see by the replay here, Hairston, guess he wants to run the ball tonight. Back there in pistol, Phillips with him. I think they should use Phillips a little bit more to loosen this thing up. But there's a completed pass. Jamil Trimble catches that ball. Can be down at the 30-yard line of the Franklin Wildcats. Nice tackle. Looks like this guy, number 13, Caleb Miller, is all over the field for the Wildcats. Kicks Hairston in motion and gives to Phillips. Phillips isn't able to pick up too much yardage on that one. 9:20 left to go in the third quarter here. Second and 10 for the Knights. Moving this ball steady, they might find themselves in field goal range of Kyle Kostoff, but he runs out of that tackle, but not that one. Good defense. And that tackle is made over there by number 43, Jacob Wright. 3rd and 17 now for the Knights. This is where they can get at least half of this. It could be 4-down territory. They got trips right. This looks like the same formation they were going to use late in the first half and the play that got a penalty call before they were able to get it off. Hairston in motion. Corey Roberson runs out of it. And he's got a nice gain for the Knights. Looks like he's going to be down to about the 26-yard line of the Wildcats, where he got a lot of yardage back. It's going to be 4th down. 4th and 4. It looks like the Knights are going to be going for it again on 4th down. Again, in the games I've seen them in this year, they have a pretty good success rate on 4th down attempts. So there's Roberson. He throws that ball, but it's going to be stacked up this time by the Wildcat defenders. Nowhere to go. And Jamil Trimble over there got that pass, but Lamar Hairston can't get his block on number 11 for the Wildcats. That's number 11 there is Devin Richardson. He would not allow himself to be blocked out on that play. So Wildcats take over on downs. Ball on the 24-yard line. Under center. They give again. And he's thrown down. This time he catch up to Chris Heimer. Rude tackle. No gain on the play. They got this clock running. 7:16 left to go in the third quarter. Wildcats break the huddle. Under center is Luke Kennard. He straight drop back and he's going right and completes that pass over there in the right flat to number 38 over there. He rolls up here to his right and throws that ball, you know, from what I understand. Okay, that was number 88 on that catch. Braden Lamb. what I understand, this young man, Luke Kennard, is, even though he's a sophomore, he's getting interest. Big-time schools, Michigans of the world, want to see what this kid can do. Hand off inside, but Northwest defender, Caleb, a host of other buddies there, Lenerick Matthews on the stop. Looks like we got a penalty on Franklin. Legal shift, it's gonna bring it down to a 3rd and 7 here. So officials start the clock 1 second, and in another second they turn it off here. They got to discuss the situation. Of course, this 3rd and 7 play, this play could hold a lot of impact in the outcome of this game. Okay, so the penalty on illegal shift is declined now, and so that makes it a punting situation for the Wildcats, 4th and 2. Got to punt this ball from their own 32. Dominic Williams back there to receive this kick for the Knights. Kick is up, end over end. Dominic Williams settles under it at the 35, and he breaks a tackle, runs north and south, breaks more tackles, picks up a block, and he makes good yardage up to the 48-yard line. Northwest Knights. You see good movement in there. Runs out of a couple tackles, but fortunately for the Wildcats, they had other hats there waiting to pick up the slack. So Justin Berquist over the ball for Northwest. Corey Roberson back there in the pistol. He's got Phillips with him. He kicks Thompson in motion. He fakes. Now he's going to run it on his own, round left in. Gets good yardage for 1st down for the Knights, or at least close to a 1st down. You know, of course, they got to honor that fake if you send Phillips inside. 2nd and 1. And this is where Phillips is going to probably get the ball straight up. No, nice block. Phillips goes, and that ball is batted down. 3rd down and 1. Nice defense by the Wildcats. Everybody stayed in gaps. Got a hand up to slap it down. Well, here we go. Knights 3rd and 1. 5:06 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Offside against the Wildcats, so that'll be a 1st down for the Knights to change move. That'll work, though. That's right. So here's Corey Roberson again looking it over. He's got trips right. This is where he might try to go long on him. Kicks Christian Snow into motion, fakes to give. No, he does give to Phillips. Phillips busts into the 2nd level. Good yardage. Yeah, because this Phillips is the guy that can get yardage and eat the clock for you if you keep handing him the ball. Yes, indeed. First down. What's the chain gang doing over there? Ball on the Franklin 28-yard line. Roberson looking over at Coach Chad Murphy, Coach Fish over there. Trips right. What are they going to do on this one? Twins left one right there. Snow in motion. Give it to Phillips. He's got a crease. He breaks off a tackle and muscles his way up ahead for good yardage. Looks like he's going to be near the 21-yard line. You see on the replay, stuffs that ball right in Phillips' hand, and he goes straight north south with it. Phillips has done a respectable job this year for the Knights on offense. Reliable back. There's Snow in motion. Here's Roberson to pitch to Phillips. He plants, but he's met. He's not going to get any yardage out of that. Wildcat defenders all over it. Everybody held contained for the Wildcats until the Hats got there. So it's looking like now the Knights are going to have to loosen this up and give the Wildcats a little bit more to think about. Need to complete a pass somewhere here. No in motion. Fakes the pass, and Corey Roberson sticks his head in there for first down yardage. Looks like the ball is going to rest on the 15-yard line. So the Knights running this no huddle. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the third quarter. There's Phillips with the ball. No, Roberson kept it, and he's tripped up. Little low gain, maybe a yard. Roberson gets up kind of a little bit hobbled. We don't know if he's going to stay in the game. Ball's on the 13-yard line of the Wildcats. Wildcat defense looking to stiffen. There's Snow with the ball on his jet sweep. He's able to get it up to about the 10-yard line, but that's it. We got a flag on the play. Holding called against the Northwest Knights on that. Yeah, so the playoff picture is starting to shape up. Like this game here is still basically undecided. We don't know, but in these other games, we pretty much know that if Winton Woods is leading somebody 50-0 at the half, you know, that one's pretty much over. And Trotwood Madison, defending state champs, handing the Mount Healthy Owls their head 28-0. Roberson back to pass. He completes that pass over here to number 7, Brandon Thompson. Of course, now the Knights, of course, I know they don't want this drive to stall, but I know they are at field goal range now, Mr. Kyle Kostoff. But they got to quit shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. Yeah. Roberson throwing to his left. That ball's caught by Jameel Trimble. He twists around out of a tackle, and he's able to get that ball down to about the 10-yard line. Okay, so fourth down here, just inside the 10-yard line. Looks like 4th and 4 here. They're going to stay in. They're not going to send out a field goal. So it's the fork in the road. And stick a fork in them here. 1:46 left to go in the third quarter. Roberson takes the snap. He's looking to throw, and that ball is incomplete. It looks like him and Jameel Trimble were a little bit on different pages. Trimble cut inside, and Roberson threw the ball outside. So the Wildcats take over on downs. 1:37 left to go in the half. And it just didn't happen for the Knights on that. So they're going to have to stiffen up, play defense. The defense should be rested. again, it's up to the defense one of these nights to stand up here, get that big turnover that they're looking for. They'll make something happen. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Give. Again, there's that guy. Chris Heimer, number 1. That's a first down pickup. I don't know what these Franklin team, they got this Bengal growl. I thought the Bengals had copyright on that. I didn't think I was going to be hearing that plus the Michigan fight song. But anyway, give inside again. And Mr. Chris Heimer twists in there for about a good 6 yards. 2nd and 5, they call it. It's like Wildcats are trying to hurry up on this one and catch Northwest off guard, and they have. And this guy Heimer breaks it through, and if it doesn't be for this defender for the Knights to stop that tackle, he's been still running. So that looks like number 15 for the Knights on that stop, Kenneth Merchant. Nice tackle, but it looks like he's holding his rib or something. I'm surprised. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but just many times as this guy leaps the pile, I guess he hasn't played anybody to make him pay for that move. So there's a snap, and there's a give to Heimer again. He runs out of a tackle in the backfield, able to make about a yard gain. Looks like Northwest has number 21 leaving the game. Corey McGinnis, looks like he's holding a wrist or his shoulder as he eases off the field. Oh, that's the end of the 3rd quarter. Franklin Wildcats leading your Northwest Knights 28-21. Good hard-fought game, and once again, we'd like to invite and remind any of our viewers and listeners out there who have time and the willingness and the love for community to get out here, volunteer, and help us out with some of these shoots. You don't have to be a professional, just come out here and see what you can do. For the first time, we've broken a new announcer this year. He come and answer the call, Ty Covington. Did a couple of games with us. We'll have to see where that goes with him. He may be back to basketball. I don't know. But there's no reason why we can't find people to come out here and devote some time. And I don't know. You can't get a tax deduction for it, but, you get a wealth of good feeling about yourself. Okay, so here we are, first snap of the 4th quarter. Wildcats on their own 48-yard line, power backfield. Looks like he's going to go down. Kennard was looking to go out, maybe roll to his left.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. 3rd down, 13.
So 3rd and 13 for the Wildcats. And this is where the Knights on defense. I know I've been saying it, but somebody on defense is going to have to make a play. Okay, so here comes the Wildcats with trips left. Back to pass. He's being chased out of the pocket and throws his ball up and out of bounds. 4th and 13. I don't know why the Wildcats deviated from their strength there in that series, but unless they got some plans for doing something on this punt, I don't know. Dominic Williams, number 9, back for Knights to receive this kick. And the kick is up, and ball's going to hit, and Williams won't be able to field it. It's going to be down on the Northwest 28-yard line. Number 22, Jake Rydell, down in that ball for the Wildcats. So here comes Northwest Northwest offense out on the field to begin this drive. 10:59 left to go in the game. Game has settled down into defensive struggle. Pass out to his right. Jamil Trimble's got that ball, breaks a couple tackles, and is going up to about the 40-yard line for the Knights. Make that the 42-yard line.
14 yards in the play, Northwest first down.
Jamil Trimble giving a good account of himself for the Knight offense in this game. Boy Roberson back in the pistol. Phillips Woodham. Williams in motion, turns, throws to Williams in the right flat. He catches that ball, but nowhere to go. Maybe a pickup of 2 or so.
Rogers on the initial stop in Franklin. Ball spotted at the Northwest 46.
Well, that's a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 for the Knights. Boy Roberson back there, Phillips with him. Kick Snow into motion. Give is to Phillips. He runs through a nice hole, but then it closes and he gets to the second level. Down by contact is called, so there'll be no fumble. It's like it'd be 3rd down. About 4 on the 34, 33, something like that. So fakes the give to Phillips, and he runs around the tackle and Dipsy dabs his way up there for a 1st down yardage for the Knights. Reaches that ball over there, and the chain gang gets to stepping.
Ball is spotted at 46. Northwest first and 10 for the Wildcat, 46.
1st and 10 for the Knights. Now they're in Wildcat territory. He's back to throw. Throws is over the middle. Williams with the ball, and he's got a block on the edge, and he's got 1 man to beat, but he can't get around that tackle. Well, yes, he does. He's still up. Flags on the play now, and we'll have to see as he's all the way down to about the 10-yard line, but these flags have to be sorted out. Dominic Williams making the moves, shifted around through the tackles. So the officials, it's like Northwest is going to be moving back on that holding. Again, this is what shot Northwest in the foot has been these penalties. And the ball playing I've watched them do this year, they haven't been heavily penalized. And, you know, they picked the wrong game and decide to be penalized a lot. So the Northwest Knights are going to have the ball 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 34-yard line. This is where you got plenty of time on the clock. You know, you got time to just hand this ball off and let this guy run. Roberson in motion, fakes to Phillips, and he runs around Picks up good yardage. Now he's been broken loose. He's all in the open. Scores a touchdown for Northwest Knights. No penalties on the play. You know, wherever that play was intended, like he faked to Phillips. Again, they have to honor that fake to Phillips though. So he pulls it out of Phillips' stomach and runs around and through a couple of tackles. And, you know, Corey Roberson, you know, he's a respectable quarterback. He knows how to run his shoulder. Northwest Knights will be in good shape next year with him coming back as a senior. Kyle Kostoff looking to put this one through, tie the game up here. The kick is up, and the kick is good, so you have the score, 8:53 left to go in the game. Franklin Wildcats 28, and your Northwest Knights 28. Okay, here you see on the replay, fakes to Phillips. He carries a bunch of defenders with him on the fake, and then he pulls it out of his stomach and runs right around. And, you know, fortunately, he's able to get out of that tackle from number 13, Caleb Miller. I mean, Caleb Miller has absolutely been all over the field tonight for the Wildcats. I mean, he tried done everything but raise the flag up on this flagpole for him. So here's the Knights special teams. I think I see Coach Fish over there imploring these guys to spot what's coming. You know, do what we worked on this week in practice. Game is really a classic game. I mean, this year is probably the closest game I've done all year. A lot of blowouts this year in the OHSAA Region 8 Division II football, but this isn't one of them. And this one here was such a good game, and my hat's off to both coaches, both coaching staffs and teams. The officials, they're doing a good job. Okay, so Kyle Kostoff with his little green tee, and he steps off into it. So this time he wises up and doesn't kick that ball to number 13, Caleb Miller. Yeah, so the Northwest defenders out here, 8:53 left to go. This is gut check time for both teams now. What are we going to do? Kick this ball over again. Okay, so this kickoff from the ball going out of bounds. Northwest will be kicking from their own 35-yard line. So it's going to be important for Kyle Kostoff to get a good foot in this one without kicking it to Caleb Miller. So here we go. All the fans are faithful for the Wildcats cheering their team on. Kyle Kostoff boots it in there, picked up on the 25, runs straight ahead, and a good return. It's like he'll be knocked out of bounds near the 50-yard line. That's number 22, Jake Rydell. That ball's going to be placed down on the 49-yard line of the Wildcats. Again, this is the third Wildcat opponent for the Knights this year. They split. First Wildcats, they beat bad, and second Wildcats beat them, and now they got to break the tie against the Wildcats. So here we are, power backfield. Give to the first man through, and number 31 is met. That's Alex Norrie. Giving this guy a chance to carry the ball. He's doing a good job as the lead blocker. for Chris Heimer, so he's worthy of getting a couple carries himself. Looks like they're going to let this clock run. They're being deliberate. And it's almost like a situation where they want to score and don't leave any time left on the clock. So here we go, straight drop. He's got everything cleared out, but that tackle is made. Pass is complete, but that tackle is made by Williams, number 9, Dominic Williams. Third down and 3. 34. So the Wildcats break the huddle. Power out backfield once again. Turn, give, and man, he faced it going through that hole. He busted outside, and I'm telling you. Good defense, though, by the Knights to come up with that stop by number 15, Kenneth Merchant. But that's going to be a first down. Here we see again, he busts that outside, and Merchant runs him down from behind. .745 left to go in the game here. Power backfield turns and gives to the second man through. And the Knight defense is waiting on that one there for, looks like, no gain. Hopefully this weather that we're having this week will remain in effect for next week's slate of games, but realistically, you're going to have to win the state title on first weekend in December up north, so it's bound to be pretty going to give. This guy, I'm telling you, number 1, Chris Heimer, Daquan Render, the Northwest defender on the stop. Third and 7 for the Wildcats. 6:39 left to go in the game. This is where, if you're the Wildcats, you stay with what got you here. You keep this ball on the ground. Power backfield, return. He's going to throw. Ball looks like it's incomplete over there. No, they're calling it a catch. Let's see what we got here. It's going to be a first down for the Wildcats. And we just can't tell, but the official's saying it's a catch. So first and 10, 6:16 left to go in the game. Luke Kennard turns and gives. Chris Heimer picking up good yards again. This is the way they gashed him at the end of the first half with that touchdown. Second and 4. Luke Kennard back in the game with the play. Got the power backfield. Here's the second man through. I see a Northwest defender all over it. Looks like Lenerick Mathis jumped on and took a ride. Got him down. Ball on the 7-yard line, 3rd and 2. Here's where the Wildcats got this power backfield. Stumbles, makes the give, but the Knight defense is there. Looks like a host of them were there. Nolan Miller, One of them, Lenerick Mathis. Amir Daniels. Okay, so here we are, 4th down, 2 to go. Fork in the road to stick a fork in them, and Northwest defenders jump offside. So that'll be a 1st down for the Wildcats. 1st and goal, ball on the 2-yard line, or half the distance, 3.5-yard line. Well, I don't know why the Knight defense would let them induce them into that. Make these guys beat you for it, don't beat yourself. So here they are with the power backfield, he kicks a man in motion. Turns, gives to the second man through, and he's got a wide open shot at the end zone. Touchdown for the Franklin High School Wildcats. And they will go on top of the Northwest Knights, 34-28, pending the outcome of this extra point. 4:12 left to go in the game. So this is what high school football, or really any football, is all about. Last possession, who wants it bad, who wants it worse. But both teams, that extra point is up and that extra point is good. So 35-28 is the score. Franklin Wildcats. So this is where Northwest Knights on special teams need a good return. And whatever they're going to do with this 4 minutes and 12 seconds, it's going to have impact on their season. Hopefully, the voters next week will get out here and pass this issue 47 to keep funding going on so these players from Northwest and Colerain can play some athletics next year. Well, I don't know what they expect these kids to do if they don't want to have nothing for them. You know, I saw this summer what could happen when a bunch of kids get bored. You know, and you're not going to get bored here at Franklin High School with the DJ here keeping the songs going, but I could have sworn the Bengals had copyright on this song because I don't want to hear it. Okay, so 4 minutes, 12 seconds left to go. Franklin kicks it off, and it's high and over and kick, and the ball's going out of bounds, so they'll have to do it again. I don't have any other updates, so last I knew, Wynn Woods was winning 50-0, and Trotwood Madison was winning 28 to, I believe, nothing. But like I said, whoever wins this game is definitely going to have a good tune-up for whoever they play next week. But these playoffs that they got going on now with Trotwood Madison, the defending state champ, and they are the state champs until somebody beats them in a playoff game. It kind of reminds me like a little bit of the Cardinals. As long as they're in there, you got to look over your shoulder. I don't even care if you're chirping. You just can't assume. So, Wildcats kick, ball picked up by Ramar Hairston. He throws the block in front of him, and he gets around right in for about yardage across midfield. Looks like it's going to be spotted near the 48-yard line. Well, it's going to be spotted right on the 50-yard line. Northwest offense Justin Berquist over the ball at center, and they're ready to get this thing jumped off. Corey Roberson back there, pistol. Jason Phillips with him. Now he steps back. Goes out to the right flat. Tristan Snow throws a decent block, and man's able to break up there for yardage. But so it'll be 2nd and 3, 7-yard pickup. Trips left for the Knights. Corey Roberson back there, Phillips with him. Gives to Phillips. He jumps in there, good pickup for first down yardage. Number 15, Matt Thompson coming into the game now on defense for the Wildcats. Got number 8 hobbling off, Matt Middleton. So Corey Roberson back there in the pistol. Goes to his left. Williams runs into a blocker. Now he changes direction, and he's going to be hauled down after, kind of like a pinball wizard, rock'em sock'em robot type of play. Here comes the penalty, holding on Northwest. Kind of stuff a lot of times happens on those change of direction plays. 3:02 left to go in the game. Ball's all the way back now on the Wildcat 45-yard line. Wildcat fans are imploring their team to get in it. They got the bleachers shaking now. But we need the Knight offense to get things down on the field baking. Here's Corey Roberson rolling to his right, and he's going to pull it in and run for it, runs into his own blockers. .233 left to go in the game, and second and 12 for the Knights offense. Of course, this is a Northwest team that has defied basically history around their school. This is the best play that the Knights have come up with in the playoffs. Good record. And here they are, chance to still win this game, but whistle on the play, and they're trying to get too cute. Legal procedure, one step forward, 2 steps back offense. They got plays that they got to go up there and run. Quick count, get up to the line, snap the ball. Clock is running. It's going to be 2 minutes left in the game by the time this ball's snapped. And I know he's going to be looking to throw somebody, hit somebody long now. If they protect him, he's looking to hit somebody long. And here he goes again. Corey Roberson. Quarterback keeper, looks like he picks up about 9 yards. But that won't get it done here at this stage of the game. 1:38 left to go. Be 3rd down and 8. Of course, 4-down territory no matter what here. We know that seniors on the Knights don't want to see it in here. Of course, we know that seniors on the Wildcats don't want that to happen to them either. Man in motion. Roberson throws to the right flat. That ball's caught, but can't break tackle over there. So it goes for a short gain. So it's going to be 4th down. And about 6. So Northwest calls timeout. You go over there, figure out what they're going to do. on this fork in the road or stick a fork in them play that's about to come up. You know, it's been an enjoyable night here at Franklin Stadium, home of the Wildcats. Somebody ought to check and see with the Mike Brown's legal department. They stole his little theme song, and I wish they'd get it back from him. Anyway, so the huddles are broke. Teams coach with his fork in the road and stick a fork moment in him. And my guess is he's going to try to throw deep to Jameel Trimble. And here comes the whistle on the play again. Timeout. Okay, so the Wildcats call timeout. So I'm told by Hugh with the truck that Winton Woods down Forest Park is leading 50-7 with about 2 minutes left to go in the game. Of course, when I'm not doing Northwest games, I'm doing Winton Woods games. Of course, their team had a rough season last season, ended 5-5, but like I said, that it was just their Valley Forge season that this year they would be back, and they are. But right now, we got the Northwest Knights to try to pull through this. They got trips left, and like I say again, I'm thinking they're going to try to throw deep to Jameel Trimble. I don't think they're going to try to get this fourth down. I think they're just going to try to go for it right here. So, Phillips back there with him. Back, looking around, he's throwing long. And that ball's batted down. That ball's batted down by number 7, Nate Woods. And that ball had no chance to get to where it was intended. It was low, no lead on it. Wildcats must have figured the same way I did on that play. So we see over across on the far sideline, body language on a couple of Northwest players indicating that frustration, remorse kind of thing. But in the end, they have to hold their head up and respect the game. I know they didn't want to play this long for silver linings, but they got to realize that they've gone boldly where no Northwest squad has gone before. So there's the give again to this guy jumping piles, and number 1, Chris Heiner, he's picking up yardage. This guy basically the average, it looks like 6-7 yards a carry. 55 seconds left to go in the affair. We don't know for sure where we'll be next week in this OHSAA playoff picture. Hopefully we'll be somewhere, and hopefully the weather will be like this weather we've had tonight. But again, I know that's a lot of hope to keep alive. So, 34-28 is the score. 55 seconds left to go, 2nd and 7. This is where, if you're the Franklin Wildcats, you got to avoid the Miracle of the Meadowlands type of play, which I'm sure Northwest Knight defenders are looking all over to strip this ball out if they can. There's Heimer again, but very little gain on that one. Northwest defenders are waiting there for him. Okay, so third down. We'll have to see what transpires. The Wildcats may need to pick up a first down to keep from turning the ball over to the Warriors. Of course, I know they would do run clock and so forth like that. That was the last timeout for Northwest. And once again, the Franklin School giving a good show, put on a good performance tonight, put on a good product, whole school, band. I didn't get to go down to the concession stand at halftime, but okay, so here come the Franklin Wildcats. It's 3rd and 7 play. Man in motion. Here's a snap. Give to the second guy through, and Reimer just runs that ball. Looks like he's about 2 yards short of a first down. Timer, excuse me. Looks like we got a Northwest defender slow to get up. Little hobbly wobbly. Looks like that's number 21, Corey McGinnis. 33 seconds left to go in the game. Yeah, so they're going for it on 4th down here, 4th and 2. They don't really want Northwest to see them touch this ball again. They'll probably make Northwest jump offside. Clock's going down, 19 seconds, so they're going to let it go down and take. Northwest is here. Okay, so it looks like Franklin Wildcats outsmarted themselves trying to be cool. Now they take the penalty for illegal procedure on this play. Stopping the clock. 10 seconds left to go. So this game is gonna, definitely boil down to the last possession, albeit a 10-second one. So number 9, Dominic Williams back there to receive this kick. That clock wasn't supposed to run because of that penalty. So we got a clock malfunction here. Clock reading triple zeros, but I'm thinking it should have stayed stopped at 10. So it boils down. We have a good game now here in the last snap of the game. We find malfunction junction. This is starting to remind me of that extra point attempt late in the first half. Officials, they want to make sure they get it right. But everybody, there's nothing to be said about it. The game was played well. Both teams give a good account of themselves. And good sportsmanship should prevail. Like I said, whoever goes on this game is going to have a good tune-up for their next opponent. And if I was the next opponent of these guys, I'd make sure that I had something to answer for this guy. Number 1, This Chris Heimer. This guy killed him along with the penalty. Then they had that lapse on special teams. You know, 2 lapses really. Number 13, Caleb Miller. Did he used to be a linebacker for the Bengals? So they're just going to run this punt with no time on the... Oh, okay, so what are they going to do? They're just going to... Here we go again, another flag. Too many men on the field. The ref is counting. This is very much looking like shoot ourselves in the foot. We never did understand how this clock has reached triple zeros. Where that 10 seconds was on there when they were penalized. And now all of a sudden that 10 seconds is no longer with us. And it looks like Franklin is just going to fall on this. And that's the game. So that's the final play of the game tonight here at Franklin High School, where the Franklin Wildcats defeat the Northwest Knights 34-28. This is Jacob Williams, along with all the hard-working resources and assets of Waycross Media, wishing you see you next week, and hopefully we'll have a different result next week. Thank you and everybody in the truck, Tony Hughes, Shaq, Butch, guys, thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Copies of this program are available for $20 each. Send program title along with your address and check or money order to Waycross Community Media. Attention Dub Coordinator, 2086 Waycross Road, Forest Park, Ohio 45240. Or buy securely on the web at www.waycross.tv.